Russia says draft statement proposed by Australia and Luxembourg on Homs is unbalanced and has nothing to do with humanitarian issues. Army units continue to eliminate terrorist dens in Damascus countryside, Deir ez-Zor and Homs. Iraqi forces carry out large-scale operations near borders with Syria to foil al-Qaeda's plans. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. The Russian mission at the UN said that the draft statement proposed by Australia and Luxembourg to the UN Security Council regarding the situation in Homs is unbalanced and based on double standards. Itar news agency quoted the mission as saying that Russia regrets that its proposals for amending the statement have been utterly ignored. The mission stressed that Russia regrets that its specific proposals regarding the draft statement for the press proposed by Australia and Luxembourg were utterly ignored. Moreover, the text circulated is even more imbalanced. It is based on double standards and has nothing to do with humanitarian issues. The UN Security Council failed to reach a consensus on the draft statement. Russia demanded amending the statement to become more balanced and to include a reference to Nouvelles and al-Zahra towns where inhabitants are besieged due to the terrorist acts of Jabhat al-Nusra and other armed terrorist groups linked to al-Qaeda. Units of the armed forces restored security and stability to al-Qaboun industrial area in Damascus after eliminating all members of the armed terrorist groups and destroying their hideouts. An official source said that units of the army carried out a series of qualitative operations in the area and destroyed all the terrorists' hideouts and gatherings, killing a big number of terrorists. Most of them are non-Syrians and affiliated to Jabhat al-Nusra. The source added that the area controlled by the army spread over an area of 1.5 kilometers south of al-Qaboun to the traffic node on the southern bypass, asserting that the operation will cut off the supply of weapons and gunmen and limit their movement among Jobar, al-Qaboun, Zamalka and Harasta. The source pointed out that torturing dens and headquarters for the terrorist leadership and several tunnels were found, in addition to various kinds of weapons, among them mortar shells, machine guns and Israeli-made Lao rockets. The source pointed out that a map for the area unveiling the location of the snipers of the armed terrorist groups and the tasks assigned to each armed terrorist groups in the region was also discovered. In Azyabiya village in Damascus countryside, army units destroyed a terrorist den, killing all the terrorists inside, including a Saudi sniper called Abdurrahman al-Wahidi. In Homs, army units continue to pursue armed terrorist groups in al-Khalidiyya and other nearby neighborhoods. In Deir ez-Zor, army units inflicted heavy losses on terrorists in Al-Ummal and Al-Hwiq neighborhoods. A source in the governorate said that army units clashed with terrorist groups in the two neighborhoods, killing and wounding a large number of them and destroying their weapons. The source added that another unit eliminated several members of an armed terrorist group in Al-Mraiya village, destroying their criminal tools. An army unit destroyed dens for al-Nusra Front, inflicting heavy losses upon the terrorists in Al-Ghab area in Hama countryside. An official source said that several terrorists were killed and their weapons were destroyed in the villages of Tal Ahwash and the bridge of Beit al-Ras in Al-Ghab. The source went on to say that another army unit foiled a terrorist attempt to detonate 3 explosive devices planted near Tibat al-Imam Hilfaya axis, weighing between 25 to 30 kilograms. A number of terrorists were killed and others wounded as a result of the huge explosion that took place in a terrorist den in the city of Jassim, Daraa countryside. A military source said that the explosion took place in the house of terrorist Hussam Ibrahim al-Saadi, pointing out that the house was used to make explosive devices. The source added that 10 terrorists were killed and several others wounded as a result of the blast, referring that the scores of explosive devices and landmines were found in the house. Iraqi forces launched a large-scale operation to foil the so-called Baghdad battle plan, which was put by al-Qaeda organization and al-Nusra Front. Iraqi forces also destroyed desert camps and tunnels dug to smuggle weapons to Syrian territories. Minister of Tourism Hala al-Nasser stressed that the tourism sector in Syria will regain momentum as the Syrian government is determined to press ahead with the reconstruction process along with the victories achieved by the army.
During the second-day activities of the Coast Summer Festival 2013 in Tartus, Minister al-Nasser said that the festival stresses Syria's strength and resolve to confront all challenges that resulted from the acts of the armed terrorist groups. In a speech during the ceremony of graduating a marine rescue batch organized by the Syrian Arab Red Crescent branch in Tartus, Minister al-Nasser hailed the diversity of the festival, which reflects the Syrian heritage and civilization, adding that the big turnout is evidence on the national unity among the Syrians. For his part, head of the Syrian Arab Red Crescent in Tartus, Ahmed Uthman, highlighted the need to focus on training and rehabilitating, adding that the Syrian Arab Red Crescent has carried out several courses to train volunteers in many provinces. Al-Nasser and Tartus Governorate honored the families of 6 martyrs and 31 wounded, in addition to 5 of the top students in the province. The martyrs' relatives expressed their pride in the martyrdom of their sons in the line of the duty, adding that the Syrians are living as one big family and the homeland deserves all sacrifice. The festival included art exhibitions such as plastic art, sculpture, handicrafts and folk markets, also featuring a children art exhibition with 50 paintings drawn by 15 children.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. The government steps to control cooling prices and latest business of market news with Nariman Qassam after a short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The General Establishment of Remote Sensing and the General Commission of Scientific and Agricultural Researches have signed a cooperation agreement to carry out 2 projects. The first on choosing the optimal sites to grow alternative plants like rice by using methods of remote sensing, and the second on specifying and modeling soil siltation by using satellite visual techniques and pioneering sciences. The new projects are a new addition to the other projects already carried out by the 2 establishments. Within the framework of the signed cooperation agreement, the 2 sides underlined the importance of cooperation and the necessity to go on with supporting the agricultural sector through using the modern methods with the spirit of teamwork. About 16,407 tons are the amounts of wheat which have been marketed to Daraa, then delivered to 4 centers. While the harvest operations continues, as the marketing department sources said that the receiving mechanism is going on regularly and the samples are being sent to labs with a password in order to be analyzed, whereas the funds transferred to Daraa's banks reached 400 million Syrian pounds, covering about 13,000 tons of wheat. The World Socialist website criticized Obama's speech about the Independence Day as the U.S. is the land of poverty and unemployment. Moreover, the U.S. is recently going through the worst economic deficit in 6 years since the Great Recession days in the 30s of the previous century. The website added that the U.S. also suffers social inequality, whereas it is considered as the international defender for the great companies' interests, sacrificing the democratic rights either for the U.S. working class or for the world's population. Cypriot authorities will start an investigation to identify the reasons behind the economic deficit, which led the country to seek a harsh international bailout. The investigation deals with the financial transfers to Greece from Al-Halqi Bank, which was dissolved, in addition to cheatingly cancelling the debts during the shares selling, as Al-Halqi Bank and the Bank of Cyprus have both purchased bonds of the Greek treasury. It is to be noted that for getting a loan of about 10,000 billion euros from the EU and the International Monetary Fund, Cyprus was obliged to accept reducing its banking sector, reconstructing its biggest banks, dissolving Al-Halqi Bank, and imposing taxes on deposits of more than 100,000 euros in both banks. Sources in the fuel company said that the gas filling unit of Al-Qanaitra is ready with a productive capacity of about 4,000 gas cylinders a day, as the governorate usually consumes about 3,500 gas cylinders, so the rest will be distributed to the other governorates. The manager stressed that the gasoline is available in stations, while the overcrowding is caused by rumors concerning raising the material price, which is not real, noting that providing the citizens' demands of diesel will be finished during the coming 20 days. Oil ended its weekly dealings up, registering its biggest weekly increase in a year, as it was supported by the intensifying tension in Egypt, in addition to the U.S. economic statements, which were better than expected. The U.S. shares closed high after strong data indicated to an improvement in the economic situation, and after investors have overcome their fears that the U.S. Central Bank may reduce its monetary stimulus program soon. On the other hand, the European shares dropped, led by the bank sectors, whereas the Nikkei index rose to its highest level in 5 weeks, after the European Central Bank and England's bank have announced great adhere to continue facilitating their monetary policy. And now over to the exchange rates according to the bulletin of the Central Bank of Syria. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.